Hello everyone, welcome again to Indian Story Read Along. Today's story is called Big Red Lollipop by Rukhsana Khan and illustrated by Sophie Blackall. When I was reading through this book, it reminded me of so many things when I was growing up, and maybe it might remind you guys of some of these things too, about a big difference in culture when it comes to how things are done back in the old country, wherever the old country is that you're from, and how things are done when you're growing up in America or Canada or England or anywhere in the West. This is Big Red Lollipop by Rukhsana Khan, illustrated by Sophie Blackall. I'm so excited. I run all the way home from school. This is Rubina, the main character. Ummi, I've been invited to a birthday party. There's going to be games and toys, cake and ice cream. Can I go? Sana screams, I want to go too. That's her little sister. Ummi says, what's a birthday party? And then Rubina there says, it's when they celebrate the day they were born. Ummi says, why do they do that? And then Rubina's like, they just do. Can I go? There's the first cultural difference, okay? What's a birthday party? Nowadays, birthday parties are everywhere in the West, in the East, anywhere. People, and that's all because of Western influence. Everyone celebrates their birthday with cake and a party and something like that. But that's actually not what we used to do in the East, where I'm from, in South India. You don't get things on your birthday. You have to give on your birthday. That's the point of that. So, but Rubina is so excited, just like I would have been at that age as a little girl growing up in Canada, just to be included. Sana screams, I want to go too. Rubina says, I can't take her. She's not invited. And then, why not? Says Ummi. They don't do that here. Ummi says, well, that's not fair. You call up your friend and ask if you can bring Sana, or else you can't go. I'm cringing right now. So many memories. Oh, but Ummi, they'll laugh at me. They'll never invite me to another party again. Sana screams, I want to go too. So she's thinking of all of these white girls there in that little thought bubble, and she is already different from them. Rubina doesn't want to be any more different. But back in Eastern cultures where family is everything, if one kid is going to a birthday party, all the kids from that family also go to the party. It's not, everything is not about individualism as it is here in the West. And it's considered rude to not include anyone. Here it's considered rude to ask if other family members can come to a party. So then Rubina says, look, Sana, one day you'll get invited to your own friends' parties. Wouldn't you like that better? No, I want to go now. And so it's on her now, poor Rubina. I beg and plead, but Ummi won't listen. I have no choice. I have to call. Sally says, all right, but it doesn't sound all right. I know she thinks I'm weird. I was always afraid of being thought that like I was rude because things were different. I'll tell you what happened to me at the end of the story. At the end of at the party, I'm the only one who brought her little sister. Sana has to win all the games, and when she falls down during musical chairs, she cries like a baby. So everyone's having fun, but there she is babysitting. Before we leave the party, Sally's mom gives us little bags. And that was how it was, and how it still is. And treat bags have just gotten ridiculous. All kinds of treats and stuff as a thank you for coming to the party. Inside there are chocolates and candies, a whistle, a ruby ring, and a big red lollipop. Sana eats her big red lollipop on the way home in the car. I save mine for later. Sana doesn't know how to make things last. By bedtime, her candies are all gone, her whistle is broken, and the ruby in her ring is missing. I put my big red lollipop on the top shelf of the fridge to have in the morning. All night, I dream about how good it will taste. So she's saving it and rationing it out. But what happens? In the morning, I get up early to have it. Sana's already up. When she sees me, she runs away. I open the fridge door. All that's left of my lollipop is a triangle stuck to a stick. Sana! And there's the map of where they run, where they're chasing each other, where she's running away and the other one's running after her. I hear a sound in the front hall closet. I should have known. That's where she always hides. I shove aside the coats and boots. I'm gonna get you! Quick as a rat, she scoots through my legs and runs around and around in the living room, the dining room, the kitchen, yelling, Ami, help, help! And there's Mom. Ami comes out, rubbing her eyes. Sana runs behind Ami, where I can't get her. What's going on out here? Says Ami. Sana says, Rubina's trying to get me. Ami puts her hands on her hips. Are you trying to get your little sister again? She ate my lollipop, the greedy thing. She ate it. Ami says, for shame. It's just a lollipop. Can't you share with your little sister? I want to cry, but I don't. This is what I always find is unfair. Like, I didn't want to ever be this kind of a mom, being like, oh, you're the older one. Well, she's still a child, though. It's not that she's the older one. Like, what are they? 8 and 6? I mean, it's not like she's 24 and something, and then she's suddenly the adult just because she's older than the other one. That's not fair to the older child, and the older child should not be treated that way. Sana runs to the fridge and brings back the triangle stuck to the stick. Look, I didn't eat all of your lollipop. I left the triangle for you. See, says Ami, she didn't eat all of it. I would have been so mad, you guys. I would have been so mad. It's like everyone is rubbing it in. She didn't eat all of it. She's sharing with you. Go ahead, take the triangle. So I have to take it. Go ahead, eat the triangle. But I don't. With all my might, I throw it across the room. It skitters under the sofa. Sana scurries after it and eats that too. Ew! Like, at this point, I thought maybe Sana would get sick, but she doesn't. The worst thing is that all the girls at school know if they invite me to their birthday parties, I have to bring Sana. That's the big culture thing, right? And it's hard when you can't explain certain things to your parents and you can't explain certain things to your friends, because at the end of the day, you're still a child and it's not like it's your job to teach everyone about everyone. I don't get any invitations for a really long time. And it's hard for Rubina when she has to be a grown-up when she's not equipped to. Then one day, Sana comes home waving an invitation. Look, okay, guys, earlier, Sana was really small. She's like a couple of feet bigger now, right? Maybe a year has passed, maybe 2 years. So Sana has the invitation now. Ami, I've been invited to a birthday party. There's going to be games and toys and cake and ice cream. Can I go? Our little sister Mariam screams, I want to go too. Sana says, no, I can't take her. She's not invited. How the tables have turned. Ami says, well, it's only fair. You went to Rubina's friend's party. Now Rubina and Mariam can go to your friend's party. I say, leave me out of it. Exactly, I had enough of this from the first time. Ami says, fine, then you have to take Mariam. And no one is happy with that. Now it's Sana's turn to beg and plead. Ami won't listen. Sana's begging so hard she's crying, but still Ami won't listen. I could just watch her have to take Mariam. I could just let her make a fool of herself at that party. I could just let her not be invited to any more parties. But something makes me tap Ami on the shoulder. You know what? I would have done all of those things. Rubina is such a kind little girl. I don't know, a year has passed. Maybe like I wouldn't have been mad either, but I'm reading the story and I feel like I want justice for Rubina. And so she taps Mom on the shoulder. What? And then she says, Rubina says, don't make Sana take Mariam to the party. No? Says Ami. No, I say. Ami thinks for a moment, then says, okay, So Sana gets to go by herself. She afforded her sister something that her sister did not allow her to have. But again, her sister was a very small child. Maybe she realizes. After the party, I hear a knock on my door. "What do you want?" I ask Sana. "Here." She hands me a big green lollipop. "This is for you." "Thanks," I say. After that, we're friends. So I told you guys, the end. I told you guys that I was going to tell you my story about this. My mom didn't do that, what Ami was doing in the story. Okay, I was really, really lucky because my parents are both immigrants from India and I grew up here, but I didn't have that same situation. But other people did that I grew up with. My mom understood and she was like, okay, we have to be very careful. If one kid is invited to the birthday party, that's the only kid that goes because that's what everyone else is doing. But then we showed up to a birthday party once and then another child who was invited to that birthday party brought their little brother. And then the mom was also there, but then the people who were running the birthday party, the birthday girl's parents, said, no, only this one, the older one is invited and the younger one is not. And then that mom was so embarrassed and the younger child was crying right there in the parking lot. And I was there with my mom watching this, not knowing what was going on. And my mom was just like, okay, it's a good thing I didn't do that. So, I mean, I understand that there's a lot of kids who go through that, and I really wish it was like we could all just go to all the parties, but it's not the same everywhere. I like it how Rubina was so kind, and she didn't want her sister to go through what she went through. So I think the author also understands this too, that she was born in Pakistan, and she wanted to go to her sister's birthday party. So it's funny that the author is actually Sana. She wrote this story. This is a great book. Big Red Lollipop by Rukhsana Khan, illustrated by Sophie Blackall. Join us again next time on Indian Story Read Along for more stories like this and more super old stories from my collection. We'll see you soon.